2021 local planning agency meeting and city commission regular meeting shall be held via virtual communications media technology as made necessary by the continued state and local emergency. Because of the continued COVID-19 pandemic and the need to ensure the public health, safety, and welfare, these meetings will be conducted remotely via Zoom. Due to the ongoing state of emergency and the recommendations from all public health authorities, the City of Aventura recommends that all persons view and participate in this meeting through electronic means. Members of the public have been directed on how to access the meeting through the agenda posted online and at Government Center. With that, I'm going to call the local planning agency meeting April 6th to order. And I'm going to request the clerk to call roll.
Mayor Weissman.
Here.
Vice Mayor Shelley.
Here.
Commissioner Evans.
Present.
Commissioner Friedland.
Present.
Commissioner Landman.
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Marks.
Here.
Commissioner Narodsky.
Present.
Mr. Wasson.
Here.
Mr. Wolfen.
Here.
Have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Can I ask us all to please stand as we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge
I
allegiance.
pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice
for all.
for all.
Can I please have a motion for the approval of the minutes of September 8th, 2020?
A motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Narodsky. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Evans. I'm not sure about this because it's the very first time in all of the years. Are we not doing a roll call vote? Madam
It's whatever you would like, Mayor. You could do
Okay.
either.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand is fine. Anybody opposed?
Oh,
Okay. We're now into item 4, the public hearing motion recommending adoption of the following ordinances. I'm going to request the city attorney to read ordinance A and provide the procedures for the quasi judicial hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. On ordinance A, it's an ordinance of the city of Aventura, Florida, amending the official zoning map of the city of Aventura by amending the zoning designation for a 1.55 acre parcel of land located on the east side of Biscayne Boulevard, located at 20955 Biscayne Boulevard, as legally described in Exhibit A to this ordinance, from OP Office Park District to B2 Community Business District, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date. And as you stated, for this particular item 4A, the quasi-judicial procedures of the city are invoked, which would provide for evidence to be provided under oath and in accordance with the procedures of the city for this item 4A.
Okay, I'm going to request that the city clerk swear in those wishing to offer testimony on item 4A only at this time.
Right. If you will be providing comments on this item 4A, you either need to raise your hand if you are on video. If you're not on video, I need you to use your raise hand icon at this time and be sworn in. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can I please have a motion recommending the adoption of this ordinance? Motion made by Commissioner Evans, motion seconded by Commissioner Friedland. I'm going to request the Community Development Director, Joanne Carr, to present the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have been sworn in. I would like to enter the staff report into the record. Staff requests that the local planning agency recommend approval to the City Commission of an application by Central Aventura LLC to amend the zoning designation for land located at 20995 Biscayne Boulevard from OP Office Park District to B2 Community Business District to facilitate development of a mixed-use retail and hotel project by the applicant. The property is located on the east side of Biscayne Boulevard between Northeast 209th and Northeast 210th Street. And I'll share my screen if I can to show you the location plan. Everybody see, this is the location plan. The property, again, east side of Biscayne. We're up here across from it, actually across from the new South Tower at the Aventura Hospital. It was a former funeral home. It's been that structure has been demolished and it's now vacant with a green construction fence around it. The owner has applied for site plan approval to build a mixed-use retail and hotel development. The proposed building has approximately 40,000 square feet of retail uses on the first and second floors, parking on the second through fifth floors, and a hotel on the 6th through 11th floors. And this is the rendering of the building. This is the view fronting on Biscayne Boulevard with 2 stories of retail here, the parking garage, the pool deck on this level, and the hotel on top of that podium. The site plan is under review by the city staff and its consultants. Current zoning does allow for hotel use but prohibits retail uses. The applicant has therefore applied for this rezoning from Office Park to Community Business District. Staff has analyzed the application using the standards in Section 3177 of the City Code and finds that the application does meet those standards. Public notice of the hearing has been published, posted, and mailed in accordance with Section 3171E of the City Code, and to date, no public comments have been received. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. Oh, let me show you the other renderings we have here, and they're also in your site in your package, your agenda package. This is the entrance underneath for a drop off for the retail and then to the hotel. This is an interior view of the 2 retail floors. And this is the pool deck of the hotel and a rendering of a typical hotel unit. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, let me see at this time if the applicant wishes to address the commission. I think
Someone's
that would be
raising their
Mr.
hand.
Rosenthal if he wishes to speak.
That's correct.
Oh, he's muted.
Well, I don't see his picture either.
Madam Clerk, you're also muted. I see you're talking.
Yeah, Joanne, I need you to take your pictures down.
Okay.
Okay, now I see him. Alan, you're muted. We can't hear you.
How about now?
Okay, now it's perfect.
All
Thank you.
right, we made it. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. I've been mute for the last 12 months, I think. Talking about that, you know, it's a very funny thing. First of all, my name is Alan Rosenthal. My office is in Aventura. I live in Aventura. I have enjoyed this commission for many, many years, and I'm happy to be here. My clients are named Kababi, and they have been in this neighborhood for a while. And they built this building in Mexico City, and it was a very successful development. I don't want to go into the development for a lot of reasons, because I'm going to be returning here in a couple of weeks or a month to present to you the actual approval. This approval is for only the rezoning of the property, but I had asked Joanne to allow you to see what was proposed in connection with it so that you would know what was coming and why we wanted to do it. Attached to my letter of intent, which I think all of you had, is a letter from Hyatt recommending that the original hotel that we had 120 units for be increased to 150, which we could not do because it was a little bit more than the property could handle. And so we've come up with 134 units. I think you also may have noted from my application and the letter of intent that this is not a normal Hyatt hotel, run of the mill. It is one of their upper class hotels. It is got units that are 566 square feet in size, which is almost the size of a small condominium. They love this location, and you have no idea how happy I am that these clients were kind enough to buy the property that was housing a funeral parlor. Because to me, walking into a hospital and perhaps needing major surgery or being really ill and looking across the street and the last thing you see is a funeral parlor, to me was just awful. So when my clients decided to buy this property, I thought it was a wonderful thing for the city. And having talked to them about office buildings as opposed to a hotel such as the one they were able to secure, to me, it made no sense to try and build some more units for lease as offices, but units that would make us one of the only ones in the neighborhood with a hotel of this caliber was something I thought was excellent. And after meeting with Joanne and talking to her about what we wanted to do, we thought that if we changed the zoning to what is now many properties zoned up and down the street, including the property to the north and the property to the west, which are all zoned B2, including most of the property that the city has on the west side of Biscayne Boulevard, it would be an appropriate change. And I'm here tonight because this ordinance, as you know, requires 2 readings. The second reading will take place when I appear before you to discuss and present to you what this project, which is called Central Aventura, an appropriate name, is going to be presented to you. But we would request that you pass this at this time. And again, you have another shot at me on the next meeting, which I believe is on the 12th.
May 4th.
Okay, anything else? If not, then I'm going to ask if, go on, Mr.
If you
Rosenthal.
have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I'm gonna, if any member of the commission has any questions or comments, I see Commissioner Evans' hand is up, you're recognized.
Okay, it looks like a very impressive project to me. I did have one question, and that was really for Joanne, whether the sign at the front of the thing goes along with our code for the city. It seemed to be fairly dominating and enormous. I just wanted to know if we're allowed that size of sign.
The signs aren't part, this is just a rendering, so we haven't made that evaluation yet. When they do propose a sign, it will need to comply with city code. And that is 1 square foot for 1 lineal foot of building frontage.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for either the applicant or Ms. Carr? Once, going twice. Okay, is there anyone in the public that would like to speak to this item?
Members of the public wishing to provide a comment, please use your raise hand icon at this time. I do see we do have somebody that I'm going to move over to Lori Kenny. And I'm going to ask you to please state your name and address for the record.
And to unmute also.
I'm asking her to unmute.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Kenny, can you please state your name and address for the record? And you all have 3 minutes to provide your comments.
Yes, my name is Lori Kinney, but unfortunately, I didn't wanted to raise my hand. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
all right, Mayor, I'm not seeing any other speakers at this time.
Okay, then I'm going to close the item for public comment. And seeing as there were no questions from the commission, I am going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
She raised her hand.
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all very much. I will
Thank
have
you.
the-
We look forward to seeing you for part 2. I'm going to now ask the city attorney to read ordinance marked B.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I read that, I just wanted to mention in the record that the testimony and staff report and applicant's presentation that was just made on item 4A will be automatically carried forward this evening into the record of item 6D when this same item appears. Item B, an ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending the City of Aventura Comprehensive Plan by amending Objective 2, Policy 2.1 of the land use goal in the future land use element to add to the business and office land use category residential uses in the MO Medical Office District zoning category and contiguous business and office designated lands, and permit an increased floor area ratio for developments that dedicate certain lands to the city for public road purposes and construct the road at the owner or developer's expense, both subject to conditional use approval, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the comprehensive plan, authorizing transmittal, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I please ask for a motion recommending the adoption of this ordinance made by Vice Mayor Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Friedland? I'm going to request Community Development Director Joanne Carr to please present the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff requests that the local planning agency recommend approval to the City Commission of an application by Aventura North District Developments LLC to amend Policy 2.1 of Objective 2 of the future land use element to facilitate development of a mixed-use development on a property approximately 12.2 acres in size, located between Biscayne Boulevard and East Dixie Highway, north of the intersection of Northeast 214th Street and the city limit. And I'll share my screen, if I may. This is the rendering, oh, share, there we go. This is the rendering that was presented to the City Commission at the February 18th workshop meeting and subject of this report. The first proposed amendment to Policy 2.1 is to allow residential uses in the business and office land use category with a maximum density of 57 dwelling units per acre, subject to conditional use, in medical office zone portions of the business and office land use designation and contiguous business and office designated properties that are part of a master development plan and agreement. The second amendment to Policy 2.1 of the comprehensive plan is to allow a maximum floor area ratio of 2.49 in the business and office land use category, subject to conditional use approval, for properties that dedicate a minimum of 35,000 square feet of land to the city for public road construction as part of an overall development and construct the road at the owner's or the developer's expense. The land use category currently allows for a maximum floor area ratio of 2.0, so the request is an increase to 2.49. The development proposal will also require application for and approval of an amendment to the medical office zoning district to allow the increased floor area ratio and density. The applicant has submitted that application and it follows on this agenda. If the proposed amendment to the comprehensive plan and land development regulations are approved, the next steps in the development process will be submission of a master site plan and development agreement, which will be presented to the City Commission at public hearing. Section 3153 of the City Code provides that the text of the comprehensive plan may be amended by application of any person, board, or agency or their authorized representative. That application has been submitted, and the applicant's letter of intent describes the consistency of its request with the goals and objectives of the city's comprehensive plan. Staff agrees that the request is consistent with the goals and objectives of the plan. This development proposal was presented to the City Commission, again, at its workshop meeting of February 18th of this year. At that meeting, the City Commission requested that a study be presented by the applicant as part of this application to confirm the applicant's statement that this proposed development would reduce traffic compared to the development that is currently allowed by the zoning district. A traffic generation analysis has been prepared by the applicant's traffic engineer, and that analysis is attached to the staff report in your agenda. The analysis has been reviewed and confirmed by the city's traffic engineering consultant. The analysis compares the number of trips generated daily, also generated in the AM and in the PM peak hours for maximum development based on current zoning, and that's compared to the number of trips generated daily and in those peak hours by the proposed mixed-use development. With the existing zoning, and they're using one of the highest permitted traffic generators in that district, and that's medical offices, at 2.0 floor area ratio, daily trips are 34,110. AM peak hour trips are 1,468, and PM peak hour trips are 2,834. If developed as proposed with the mix of office, hotel, multifamily, residential, and assisted living facility, the analysis shows that daily trips are reduced to 13,230, and that's a 61% reduction. AM peak hour trips are now 537, which is a 63% reduction. And PM peak hour trips are now 640, which is a 77% reduction. Public notice of this hearing has been published in accordance with Section 3153 of the City Code and Section 163.3184 of the Florida statutes. If adopted by the City Commission, a copy of the ordinance will be transmitted to the state review agencies in accordance with state statute, and that's by way of an expedited 30-day review process. And I do need to correct the record from the workshop meeting when Vice Mayor Shelley asked if the application needed state review, and I responded no. It does not need the full state review, but it does go through and does need to go through the expedited 30-day process. And we can do that now by electronic submission, which is terrific. So we'll get that right out. Staff, if adopted, of course, staff will present the ordinance to the City Commission for second reading once those comments have been received and addressed, if any. And that's currently scheduled for June the 1st. We have had one public comment received, and that is from Ms. Kenny that we were going to hear from last item. Her concern was about traffic circulation and specifically traffic spilling out onto Biscayne Boulevard. And her comment was perhaps we could look at one-way westbound so that no traffic would be allowed out onto Biscayne Boulevard. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Let me ask if the applicant has any comments they would like to make or address to the commission about this project.
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Mayor, and members of the commission.
Brian.
Sorry?
I said, hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you doing this evening? It's great to virtually see everybody. I know we were almost going to be in person, but it's better than some people want me to wear a mask, but it's easier to talk without one now. So my name is Brian Adler with offices at Bills and Sundberg, 1450 Brickell Avenue, Suite 2300. I'm here representing Aventura North District Developments LLC, and I'm joined by Bernardo Reber here this evening. I'm also joined by Architectonica's Bernardo Fortbrescia, Maxine Lambert, and Fidel Zybeck in the event that you do want to see some of the presentation that we made at the workshops. And I'm also joined by Juan Espinosa from David Plummer and Associates to respond to any questions that you may have on the trip generation study that was submitted. As Ms. Carr noted, we did have the opportunity to present at the workshop, not only once, but actually we originally presented in August at a workshop. And then we came back in February with a vastly improved and an exciting new project that incorporated the comments both from staff and from the comments that were made at the first workshop. And so I know you're very familiar with the requests that were based on the prior workshops. In the workshop, we had indicated that in order to achieve the development that we were seeking, we were going to be seeking a few items. And as Ms. Carr noted, there are 2 amendments to the comprehensive plan of future land use element under the business and office text. The first one is to essentially, as Ms. Carr noted, to allow residential in the MO district for business and office category properties that are zoned MO. To allow residential as part of an overall development program. And the second one is to allow an FAR of 2.49 and both of these are very limited and narrow scope amendments. The 2.49 would similarly be for properties that are dedicating and improving in excess of 35,000 square feet of development. Similar to the first item that you heard this evening, today is an amendment to the text. That was a zoning change, but both of these amendments would allow for an application to come forward that would be presented to you in full, where you would see the full development. And that, as Ms. Carr noted, would go along with a conditional use approval. So both of these amendments would require conditional use approval, and it would require, in this case, a development plan. And also for this project, the dedication and vacation of certain roadways before the city commission. If this is adopted, and during the original presentation, I had mentioned how this area has been highlighted for over 20 years in the city's comprehensive plan as an area for upgrading and for redevelopment. And again, not only by the city, but now by the state of Florida by designating it as an opportunity zone. Mayor, I would open to the commission's desire if you would like us to do a little presentation of the plan that was presented at the workshop, or if you would prefer that we leave that for the actual application on the conditional use approval.
Let me see what the pleasure is of the commission. Is there anyone from the commission that has any questions for Mr. Adler or Mr. Reber? Vice Mayor Shelley?
Yeah, if it's consistent with what we saw at the workshop, then I'm comfortable with the way it is now, not needing another presentation until the full submission.
Anybody else?
I agree.
That's fine.
Okay, Brian, I think you got your answer. We're very well apprised of this. You've done an excellent job representing your client and informing this commission as your client. It seems like there are no questions, but I will ask anyone formally for the record. Dr. Linda Marks.
I have a question actually of our city manager. There was some discussion with the city manager about a potential of something that might be asked regarding 214. And I'm just asking the city manager, has this been pulled or is this part of what we're looking at right now?
It's not part of, it has nothing to do with this. The item you're talking about is.
It has nothing to do with this.
It has nothing to do with this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to open the item for public comment, and I'm going to request that the clerk open the screens or look for the raised hands.
All right, any of the members of the public who would like to provide a comment, please use your raise hand icon at this time. I do see Ms. Kenny would like to provide a comment.
I'm still having some difficulties. I apologize.
Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to provide a comment.
Yes, Lori Kinney, 19655 East Country Club Drive, Unit 301, 33180.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's it. I'm still having problems with my hands. Sorry, and I apologize.
Okay. I'm not seeing any other people at this time, Mayor, that would like to provide any comments.
Okay, then I'm going to close the item for public comment. And I'm going to request that the clerk call a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. And again, I want to thank this applicant for keeping us as informed as he has during this entire process. Thank you. That brings us to ordinance C, and I'm going to ask the city attorney to please read ordinance C.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to mention for the record that the staff report and presentations that were made on this item that was just completed will be carried forward into the record later this evening on agenda item 7A. On this item C, an ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 31, Land Development Regulations of the City Code of Ordinances by amending Section 31-144, Business Zoning Districts, subsection A, Purpose, and Section 31-144, subsection F, Medical Office, MO District, to allow multifamily residential uses with a maximum of 57 dwelling units per acre and a maximum of 2.49 floor area ratio for developments that dedicate land to the city for public road purposes and construct the road at the owner's or developer's expense, subject to conditional use approval, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
And I ask for a motion recommending adoption of this ordinance made by Vice Mayor Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Landman. I'm going to request Community Development Director Joanne Carr to please present the staff report.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This is the companion application to the comp plan amendment that you just heard. This is the amendment to the text of the land development regulations, the zoning code. Staff requests that the local planning agency recommend approval to the City Commission of an application by Aventura North District Developments LLC to amend Section 31-144A and F Medical Office District of the city's land development regulations to permit multifamily residential uses with a maximum density of 57 dwelling units per acre and a maximum floor area of 2.49 for developments that dedicate land for public road purposes and construct the road at the owner's or developer's expense, both subject to conditional use approval and upon the condition that the concurrent application for amendment to the comprehensive plan becomes effective. The applicant, Aventura North District Developments, is requesting this amendment to facilitate the development that you've just seen and we discussed in the comprehensive plan amendment. It's a mixed-use project on property between Biscayne Boulevard and East Dixie Highway, north of the intersection of Northeast 214th Street to the north city limit. And I will share Oh, it's it's the same. I won't share the screen again, but it's the same. Actually, I will. The sorry about that. There's the rendering again of the development. I thought he had something else. The applicant is requesting an increased number of units per acre and increased floor area, both subject to conditional use approval. This is exactly the same language as you heard for the comprehensive plan amendment, now being proposed for the land development regulations. If the proposed amendment to the comprehensive plan and these land development regulations are approved, again, the next process will be submission of a master site plan and development agreement, which will be presented to the City Commission at public hearing. Staff has analyzed this application using the standards for review for proposed amendments to the land development regulations in section 3177C of G of the City Code, and finds that it does meet those standards. Public notice of the hearing has been published in accordance with section 3153 of the City Code, and no public comments have been received to date. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Let me ask if the applicant has any comments or questions.
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, Brian Adler, office at Bills and Sundberg, 1450 Brickell Avenue, Suite 2300. I'm here to answer any questions. As Ms. Carr noted, this is the implementing zoning regulations, and I think it was worth putting up twice anyway. So thank you, Joanne.
I don't see any hands being raised. So I'm going to open the item for public comment and ask the city clerk if anyone from the public has any questions.
Any member of the public would like to provide a comment, please use your raise hand icon at this time. Mayor, I'm not seeing any comments at this time.
Okay, I'm going to close the item for public comment, and I'll ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Narowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me,
I'm
Mayor.
going to declare, or let me ask a motion to adjourn. Let me recognize our city attorney first, who's going to want to tell you that this will be brought forward in our regular meeting as always, but go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry to be repetitious, but just for the record, this item will appear this evening as regular commission item 7B, and the staff report and any presentation or other information will be part of the record. Thank you.
And of course, if any commissioner wants to ask any questions or see any part of it again, they certainly may.
Certainly may. Thank you.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adjourn the local planning agency meeting? Made by Commissioner Evans, seconded by Commissioner Friedland. I'm declaring this meeting adjourned. Okay, we will. Okay, we already said the Pledge of Allegiance. There are going to be a number of items that we're just going to carry forward from our first meeting into our second meeting. This is the City Commission regular meeting, April 6th, 2021. I'm not sure I need to ask you to call roll again. Do I, Ms. Clerk?
Yes, please, Mayor.
Okay, please do.
Mayor Weissman?
Here.
Vice Mayor Shelley? Commissioner Evans?
Present.
Commissioner Friedland?
Here.
Commissioner Landman?
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Marks?
Here.
Commissioner Narowski? Commissioner Narowski, I don't see him. Oh, he's raising his hand. Hold on.
Is he here?
He's coming back in.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
him.
Got promoted to a panelist, but I am here. Thank you.
Mr. Watson?
Here.
Mr. Wilpin?
Here.
Have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. As we said, the Pledge of Allegiance at the former meeting, I'm going to waive it. At this time, I'm going to ask the city managers if there's any deletions or additions to our agenda.
Mayor, no, I think there's one issue that will come up later, but will be addressed at that time.
Okay, I'm moving into special presentations. We have a most wonderful surprise in store for all of us. Our youth advisory board is going to make a project on, is going to present to us their project. And I'm not going to say what it is, but I would like to give one call out to every member of the Youth Advisory Council. I have never worked or seen a harder working, more dedicated group of young adults. And I will tell all of you, if this is what bodes for us based on this next generation of leaders, we have absolutely nothing to worry about. They are absolutely outstanding. I want to recognize Steve. I want to recognize Gabriella Sartan. She will be presenting tonight. I'm not sure if she calls herself the chairperson, the president, the director, or what. Carolina Wesley, Valentina Barades, Chloe Freitas, Taryn Shine, Megan Shine, Catherine Bello, Jade Stein, just click the trigger. Some computer problems. I'm sorry. I think I said Jade Stein, Ellis, Landauer, Lev, Avedon, Ethan Bazak, Ariel Jacobs, Emily Briskin, Michael Briskin, Leah Goldenberg, and Constance Pimentel. Okay, outstanding. And I guess, Gabby, I'm giving you the mic.
Thank you so much, Mayor Wiseman. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of the commission meeting to hear about the Youth Advisory Board's project. And I'm very excited to share with you that we've been working on bringing a Trader Joe's to Aventura. And without further ado, I'll get into explaining how we've been going about this and what we've come up with so far in regard to bringing this fabulous grocery store to our small little city. Okay, so we have divided ourselves into 4 groups: an informational team, a social media team, a presentation and video team, and a survey team. And the roles of those teams are: the information team essentially garners information pertaining to whether where we should host the location for the Trader Joe's, who we would have to speak to about it, reaching out to Trader Joe's officials, also speaking with Ms. Carr, who spoke a bit recently about the location itself as well. And then the social media team is working on getting the word out, essentially, on what we're doing and gaining, momentum and passion for everybody to be kind of, hopeful and fighting for a Trader. Well, I don't want to say fighting, it's Trader Joe's, but fighting for our Trader Joe's here in Aventura. And then we have the presentation and video team. They are creating those graphics that you will see on the Instagram page. They are, which was brought by the social media team, I'll get into later, but they're working on presenting graphics, eye-catching videos, something that will get the attention and gain, I guess, not the approval, but like the aforementioned passion of the city to incite that Trader Joe's into fruition. Then we have finally the survey team, which I am a part of. And the survey team is going out and speaking to the residents of Aventura, and maybe even not the residents of Aventura, who want a Trader Joe's within Aventura because it's closer to them than a location in, say, Davie or in Coral Gables, or anywhere where there may be a Trader Joe's, but definitely not less than 5 miles away. So we're also developing surveys, which, well, survey team is developing surveys which are being sent out to schools and to the boards for condominiums in order for residents to fill them out so that we can generate statistics on the opinions of the residents of Aventura to then further provide the information team with. And now I will get into what each team has completed so far. So I basically just discussed what the survey team has done. We have put out a survey and we have been distributing it to schools, to parents, and to anybody we can pretty much send it to as a link to fill out. It's a Google form survey, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to send the link into the chat. Is that possible?
I don't think so.
Or-
Yeah.
I can. I know, because there's no chat option, I don't believe, but I can, would it be possible to share my screen to show you guys the survey? Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
Very exciting.
So this is the wrong tab. There we go. This is the survey. I was going to paste the link into the chat. But this is the survey, and we decided on it being not too lengthy because this is going to also be presented as a QR code you can scan at city events such as movie night. And we don't want residents opening a survey, seeing like a million questions and then not wanting to participate in it. So we have, I believe, an 8-question survey. That's what it originally was. There were some changes made, but an 8-question survey asking for the residents' names, their email address, if they're a resident of Aventura, if they're not a resident of Aventura, if they live in a nearby city, and the approximation of how often they visit Trader Joe's, as well as what their primary grocery store is, and if they frequent Trader Joe's, which location do they frequent? So that is the survey team's survey that we have put out. So far 5 responses, but it's a very new survey. Next I'll get into the video and presentation team. So the video and presentation team have actually created an amazing website, which residents and non-residents, any fan of Trader Joe's within an Aventura, can click on and basically see what we're working on currently. And then I'll share my screen again right now to show this website. So it is a Google Sites website here. And as you can see, there's a tab for the information team, the survey team, the presentation team, and the social media team. And you'll be able to see our social media page, which the social media team has created for us, and also our new Gmail account to stimulate conversation between us and residents who may be curious about the project. So as you can see, it's a bit skeletal right now, the website, because we're still working on putting out content that will be presented here. But as you can see, survey will go here, and the video, which has been produced, but we're making more videos with the board right now in order to have a more bulky form of content on the website. The video will be put in the template when created. So this is the presentation team's own. Of course, every time we have a meeting scheduled, it will be displayed at the bottom. So our next meeting is Friday at 6 p.m. Well, it was Friday, we're in April now, but our next meeting will be displayed there. It has to be updated, I see. But next, we're going to go to the social media team. And since I have my screen still shared, I'll show you the Instagram page that has been come up with. So this is, like I said before, to get the awareness, to get people to know that we are trying to provide them with the Trader Joe's, and to, be active as a role and a citizen in providing us with information in the surveys and clicks on the website, and just overall conversation within the actual city about placing the Trader Joe's here. So as you can see, the Google Forms, when I click over here, I'll be directed to the survey showed earlier. So residents can check out the Instagram page and then be directed to the survey to provide us with information in order to further work on the project. Next is the information team, and the information team, unfortunately, I don't have any cool eye-catching visual to present you with, but the information team, I have no doubt, is working very, very hard and has provided us with a lot of resourceful product of their labor. So they have concluded that the former Babies R Us Plaza, and where the former Blockbuster was, is a very prime location for where we can put the Trader Joe's. And issues with parking have been raised. However, the information team has also provided us with the idea of placing a multi-level parking garage in order to deal with that, in order to have just like the Publix the Publix we currently have is a 2-story, sorry, my mom walked in. So the Publix we currently have isn't a multi-level parking garage, but it is multi-level and it's stacked upwards instead of outwards in order to provide people with more access into the actual grocery store. So we believe that placing a multi-level parking garage there will definitely be a, I guess, viable, and more than viable, just, I guess, more logical solution and approach if we were to place the Trader Joe's in the former Babies R Us Plaza. And the location actually itself was recommended by Ms. Carr, and I approved by Ms. Carr, I believe. Is that correct, Ms. Carr? Okay, perfect. So they are also focusing on reaching out to Trader Joe's and the Trader Joe's officials, and they have been doing so. We've heard some information from them about, oh, you need this many parking spaces, or you can't have, we've heard some myths and we've debunked some of them about you can't have more than one grocery store in one plaza within Aventura. And of course, this was debunked for us because there are, facilities like Publix and Winn-Dixie, which stand right next to each other in certain plazas around the city. And also we were told that a certain amount of parking spaces is needed for the Trader Joe's. And with that, we kind of tackled that with the multi-level parking garage. But yes, if you have any questions regarding our current project, our email is aventurayab@gmail.com. And our Instagram page is Aventura for Trader Joe's. And of course, our website, I wish I could paste the link, but it's also a very, very, it's very resourceful of what we're working on currently. I know it looks a little skeletal right now, but it will definitely look a lot brighter, more colorful, and full of information very, very soon. But yes, that kind of concludes what I wanted to bring forth to the commission today about the project we're currently working on. Oh, and thank you so much for everybody's time.
I've seen everybody give you thumbs up, Gabby. I know you're going to come back to us with a finished product, but we thought it was important that the commission at least hear what directions you were going in. And I think you've been absolutely amazing. The amount of work that they do in 1 week, as we're sitting on the phone, they're creating the Instagram account and doing websites and doing survey questions. They give new meaning to multitasking. And I've just been in 1 week so impressed. They have talked to officials at Trader Joe's. We know that this is a work in process. And the process may take longer than what we think, but it's still something we feel is worthwhile for the city. So not wanting to belabor this, I see Commissioner Landman. Is it all right with you if I let Commissioner Landman speak and then we go on with the rest of our agenda for tonight? Because they'll be coming back to us with a polished, finished product very soon, probably at the workshop. Commissioner Landman.
I'll be really quick. That was amazing. I'm so excited. I already followed your Instagram. I did the survey like right now as you were speaking, but the only thing that I would add to the survey is maybe at the bottom do an open-ended question like, why would you like to have a Trader Joe's in Aventura? Because I feel like then you can collect some data that will be really useful when you are speaking with Trader Joe's. So that would be my only recommendation, but great job. You guys are, amazing, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so excited to hear what comes next.
And I think you echo the comments from all of us. I do.
I'm sorry?
I think that Commissioner Landman echoes all of our comments.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, it means a lot that the commission and Commissioner Landman, you guys all appreciate what we're trying to do. And of course, we're working very hard. I know it's very, very kind of barren right now, and it is a work in progress. But that is actually an amazing suggestion. I'll definitely actually get to it right now. I'm gonna click off screen because I have it on the right side of my screen. I have the Zoom on the left, but I'll do it right now. And thank you so much for following the Instagram and completing the survey. I'm very glad I actually presented the survey. We're gonna get a lot more responses just from this meeting. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me just ask the city manager. We will at the time have a link on our city's homepage, on our webpage.
Yes, actually, I just got some of the information today. I actually tried to take the survey on a Gmail account, so it was really good. And I know spoke to community services. They're going to allow posting in the waterway, all the parks and community centers. So that'll be done very shortly.
Okay, that's great. Okay, Gabby, we'll let you get back to your homework. And you might want to tell us, where are you going to college next year?
I'm sorry?
Where are you going to college next year?
Oh, I love this name drop. I'm going to Columbia.
So do I.
I love this name drop.
Okay.
Thank you so much for my moment. Okay, thank you.
When you earn something like that, people ought to recognize it. So congratulations on your acceptance to Columbia. You will make the entire city proud.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. The next presentation that we're going to have is in recognition of Ellie's Army Foundation. So City Clerk, I don't know who you're letting on.
If somebody's here from Ellie's Army, if they can raise their hand so I know who's going to be speaking. I don't see anybody in attendance.
Okay. I hate to let it go, but I don't have my flyer in front of me. But just be aware that Ellie's Army Foundation is going to have an event in our city. And like I said, I don't have the flyer in front of me, so I can't speak to it. On the 25th of April at the Aventura Library, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning for registrations. I think the walkers start at 8. And the city has supported this event in the past. And many of us will be there to offer support for this very, very worthwhile organization. And if you need to know anything else, please, everybody listening, please Google Ellie's Army Foundation. It's a very moving, touching story. Anybody, any comments? All right, then I'm going to move it right to Aventura City of Excellence School update with Principal Tricala.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, and Mr. Watson. I'm honored to introduce, actually, let me just start by hearing the names from the Advisory Council of the Youth Advisory Board was just amazing to hear those students. And it doesn't surprise me, Mayor, how you would be impressed by that group of students. So it's my honor to introduce to you Nasibe Kalb Karakaya, who is going to be giving the ACES update tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, City Manager, and Commission. My name is Nasibe Kalb Karakaya, and I am a proud 8th grade student at ACES. I am truly honored to be representing my school to share our April report with you. We returned from spring break yesterday to begin the 4th quarter, and our teachers and students have committed to finishing strong, building on the momentum we have been accumulating all year. We recently completed a school-wide readathon. Through this fundraiser and challenge, ACES raised over $14,000 and read 32,827 minutes as a school. We know that readers are leaders, and our Eagles are always ready to lead the way. 2 of our teams recently had competitions. The middle school robotics team has recently been invited to participate in the VEX IQ Remote Championship based on their performance in other competitions this year. We are excited to continue growing our program. Our Model UN group of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders represented ACES in a Zoom conference on March 6th. 2 of our students received awards. The historian, Mariana Paramo, received an honorable mention for UN Environment Assembly, and the Vice President, Tristan Balea, won Best Position Paper for World Health Organization. Our National Junior Honor Society is happy to support the upcoming Ellie's Army 5K being held here in Aventura. This week, they are starting their campaign to have a large ACES turnout by promoting the event and extending invitations to all grade levels. Students in grades 3 through 8 who are attending our Saturday Academy will begin the second half of their sessions next week. Participation remains strong, with 75 students attending in person and 20 online. As we prepare for state testing, which begins next week at ACES, we have expanded our partnership with Mindful Monkeys, who brings mindfulness practices to our students. Currently, we are focusing on reducing test anxiety. 3rd and 4th grade students piloted the program, and it is expanding to all grades starting next week. Lastly, our kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers have been meeting with administration and academic teams to evaluate curriculum options as we prepare to transition to Florida's new best standards in reading, starting with those grades next year. Despite all of the challenges presented this year, ACES continues to push forward by remaining stronger together. Thank you for the opportunity to share just a few of the many great things happening at ACES, where excellence is the expectation, not the exception. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Tricala?
No, we're ready for testing. All of our mobile students will be testing. We're fortunate to be able to partner with the Community Recreation Center. We'll have additional space to bring our mobile students in. A lot of mobile families expressed that they were happy to know that those precautions are being taken and that option's available to them. And yeah, we're ready.
All right, well, all of us wish you and your students and teachers very good luck as we wait and see what the state is going to do with the results.
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
We wish you good luck.
Thank you.
All right, with that, before I introduce Mr. McKnight, I would like to give a special recognition to 2 of our police officers. You know, it's pretty nice to be the mayor of a city and get a call early in the morning from Rabbi Rosenfeld, who noticed a strange car parked in front of his congregation. And he was a little concerned about the person in the car, maybe needing help. And he called the police. He then called me to tell me they showed up within 2.5 to 3 minutes. They did have to have the person transported to the hospital, but they took care of the whole incident without any notice, without anybody being any the wiser. And the whole thing was handled in less than 10 minutes. So he asked if I could give a shout out. And of course, shouting out to our police is something that every member of this commission loves to do every chance we get. I want to give a big shout out to Mark Hoffman and Luis Cadez, and thank you for the work you did this morning. And with that, I'm going to introduce Principal McKnight to give us the update on Sofer High.
Good afternoon, Mayor. I'm trying to start my video here. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, City Commission, Mr. Wasson, and also the public of the City of Aventura. For most of you know Jade Stein from her seat on the Aventura's Youth Advisory Board, but what you may not know about her is her passion for public policy, participating in the debate, Model UN, and youth and government clubs at DSAHS. She also advocates for wellness and sustainability. Recently, the work she's done with her charity, Capes for Courage, won Jade the Presidential Spirit of Community Award, and her work with wellness in the school ensures that everyone has access to proper nutrition during school meals. I'm very proud to allow Jade Stein to present the school report for the month of April.
All
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners, City Manager, and citizens of Aventura. I'm delighted to present to you the school report for Dawn Sofer Aventura High School. The current enrollment for the school year stands at 412 students. DSAHS has 68 or 32% of the ninth grade students mobile and 146 or 68% of students in-person learners. In 10th grade, 101 students or 51% are mobile learners and 97 students or 49% are in-person learners. Total applications received for the 2021-2022 school year total 583, and there are 219 students already registered, and 317 are currently on the wait list. Mr. McKnight is interviewing teachers for the new positions that are opening up as the school adds another grade level. We wrapped up our third quarter with Reef Week 21, which was full of fun school-spirited activities that included dress down days, a pep rally and games, as well as a door decorating contest. House points were given to the house with the most students who dressed out during the week, as well as the best decorated door. There's a plan in the works to host a Barracuda Bash during fourth quarter. Best Buddies, in cooperation with the DSAHS Spirit Club, will be the organizers of the event, and it will include club-sponsored carnival games, food, music, and prizes. The PTC Spirit parents are also on board with support. We have started our student interviews and course selections with incoming ninth grade students and their families. Our Student Services Department has also started to meet with students to review their course selections for our current students in 9th and 10th grades. Mr. McKnight has hosted 4 coffee with the principal meetings with our parents and has appreciated the feedback he has received to make the school a better place for all. Focus areas have been school spirit, college preparedness, academics, and communications. Additional coffee with the principal meetings will be scheduled each month. Other important events at DSAHS include our Model UN students participated in the International Virtual Canada Model UN Conference, and 4 of our students received honorable mentions. They were Alejandro Martin, Thomas Hessel, Valeria Baja, and Sophia Edelberg. I personally was proud to be recognized with an outstanding award. The International Thespian Society had their induction ceremony in March. The Parent-Teacher Coalition provided our teachers with 3 days of breakfast, lunch, treats, and gift giving during our school's Teacher Appreciation Week. Local businesses like Chick-fil-A, Moe's Bagels and Deli, Aventura Hospital, Raw Juice, The Natural ND, Chicken Guy, Fly Fuel, and many of our unbelievable DSAHS parents contributed to make the celebration special for our faculty and staff. Coming up, we will be celebrating Earth Day on April 22nd. The theme is Restore Our Earth, and our Earth Day Club will be heading to Alita Beach for a cleanup activity. Our boys and girls locker rooms received their TCO recently, which means we can now begin dressing out for PE, and we can also utilize the space for our athletic teams when we have a home game scheduled. We also want to remind everyone about the school's first musical presentation, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which will be at the Aventura Arts and Cultural Center on May 19th and 20th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets will go on sale in late April via Ticketmaster. Our students who are of driving age have now been permitted to be able to park on campus, and many of our students will be participating in the 3rd annual Dirty Socks 5K Run and Walkathon supporting Ellie's Army Foundation. On the athletic front, we have now reached the end of our athletic calendar for the 2020 to 2021 school year. This past spring, our girls flag football team, who went winless in 2 games last year before the pandemic hit, went 4-1 against JV teams and 4-5 overall, including wins over rivals Avant-Garde and AIU Charter. Boys volleyball improved to an incredible 5-2 this year and almost upset powerhouse American Heritage's varsity team. We also successfully launched our tennis program, which we believe will be extremely strong as we progress through the years. Overall, regardless of the challenges presented this year, all but 2 of our team sports posted a winning record, and all others showed significant improvement. We also introduced 2 new individual sports in tennis and cross country. However, what we are most proud of is that almost 30% of the school tried out for a sport this year, and hopefully that number continues to grow. Our focus now shifts towards the transition to varsity competition and the support systems required to succeed at that level. On a personal note, to me, going to DSAHS means being able to walk home to my friends' houses right across the street and being able to see my friends' parents helping the PTC events. The close sense of community is a unique factor that I never experienced in my middle or elementary schools. Having the opportunity to pave the way for my brother and sister who will eventually attend the school with my peers is exciting and stimulating. I'm proud of what my classmates have already accomplished, and I can't wait to see the legacy we leave Aventura with. Thank you.
Thank you, Jade. Okay, any commissioner, any questions for either of our principals before? Okay, then we're going to move on with the rest of our agenda, and Mr. Tricala and Mr. McKnight, we thank you and your kids for coming and presenting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
We're moving to our consent agenda, and I need to ask the commission if anyone would like to remove an item from the consent agenda. Seeing as there is none, let me ask for a motion for the approval of the items on the consent agenda made by Commissioner Landman, seconded by Commissioner Evans. Let me ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Unmute.
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
Mayor Weissman,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. I was looking ahead to our next item because here's where it starts to get a little confusing if we're not following all of our dots. It's our zoning hearing and the quasi-judicial public hearing. I'm going to request that the city attorney read the procedures for the quasi-judicial hearing, and I'm going to request the clerk swear in those wishing to offer testimony on items 6A, 6B, 6C, and not 6C. No, not 6C. We're going to eliminate 6C. We're going to go A, B, and D. A, B, and D. Anyone wishing to talk on A, B, and D?
Thank you, Mayor. The quasi-judicial procedures of the city will apply to those items, and those procedures are listed in the agenda cover sheet and incorporated into the record. They require the opportunity for testimony to be presented under oath. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
If you will be providing testimony or providing comments for items 6A, 6B, or 6D, I need you to raise your hand physically or use your raise hand icon at this time in order to be sworn in. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Oh. Okay. A, B, and D, we just did components of it at our local planning agency meeting. So, Mr. Attorney?
Yes, Mayor. Item A deals with a beer and wine approval.
Do you want to read the item?
Yes,
first?
yes, I do.
Please.
Thank you, Mayor. First item A, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting conditional use approval to permit the sale and service of beer and wine at Macaroons and More LLC, doing business as La Dourie in tenant space number 069 on the ground floor of the Aventura Mall, located at 19501 Biscayne Boulevard, City of Aventura, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Can I have a motion for approval of this resolution made by Vice Mayor Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Narotsky? Can I request that our community, we keep moving, Development Director Joanne Carr present the staff report?
Thank you, Mayor. I've been sworn in. I would like to enter the staff report into the record. The applicant, Macaroons and More, doing business as La Dourie, is requesting conditional use approval to sell wine and beer at its cafe in the Aventura Mall at 19501 Biscayne Boulevard, notwithstanding the distance and spacing requirements of Chapter 4 of the City Code. And we'll share the map for location plan. There we go. So this is the Aventura Mall on Biscayne Boulevard. And the location of the cafe, this is Nordstrom's wing, and this is on the first floor. You'll see it at this space 069 highlighted in yellow. This tenant space is approximately 600 square feet in size. There are 44 seats at tables located in the mall corridor adjacent to the tenant space. I'll show you what that looks like. There's the cafe in the tenant space. And you see this, the seats and tables are in the mall corridor. And that's similar to other kiosks in the mall that have their seating in the corridor as well. This establishment is considered a cafe for purposes of the city code. It's chapter 4 that regulates the sale and service of alcoholic beverages. The applicant wishes to serve wine and beer at its cafe. Chapter 4 of the city code requires that it be located at least 1,500 feet from another establishment with a liquor license and not one of the exemptions in our city code, and at least 2,500 feet from a school or religious facility unless approved as a conditional use. This is not one of the exemptions, and therefore conditional use approval is required, and that's why they're in front of you today. The applicant has submitted a liquor survey that shows 8 establishments with an alcoholic beverage use that are not one of the uses exempted from the spacing requirements. We have the 8 establishments within the 1,500 feet, 2 religious facilities, and 2 schools within the 2,500 feet. Staff has analyzed this application using the criteria for approval of conditional uses in section 3173 of the city code and finds that the application does meet those criteria. Public notice of this application has been published in accordance with section 3171 of the city code, and no public comments have been received to date. Staff is recommending approval of the application with the conditions listed in the staff report, and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does the applicant have any comments he would like to make at this moment?
For the record, my name is Alan Rosenthal, and I am still at the same address I was about 40 minutes ago. I still live in Aventura, I think. And just for the record, how many of you remember the saying or the old adage, what goes around comes around? The reason I bring that up is the fact that I am now sitting in my home, in my office where I've been practicing for the last year. And 60 years ago, I started practicing out of my house because I couldn't afford an office and I didn't have a job. So things do come around again. And here I am sitting at home in my house practicing. For a very different reason, thank God. I noticed on this agenda that there is an agreement that you have just approved for Joanne Carr to have a different position in.
Let me just say, we're talking to this topic only, please.
Okay, I won't bring this up then. I was only going to say that I am very thankful to have had the opportunity of working with Mrs. Carr for many, many years, and we'll miss her. This is, as Mrs. Carr has said, is the same as many other uses in the Aventura Mall that exist today. And we would just ask for a conditional use approval to do what has been done before. My clients are well-versed in the operation of restaurants, having had many in the mall previously, and I'm sure that they will do an excellent job with this and will be able to secure a 2COP license for that use. Other than that, I have nothing else to add to Joanne's fine presentation. However, if you have any questions of me, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, do any of the members of the commission have any questions for Mr. Rosenthal? All right, then I'm going to open the item for public comment and request the city clerk to review the procedure should someone want to talk.
If anybody would like to provide a comment on this item, please use your raise hand icon at this time. Mayor, I'm not seeing anybody who wishes to provide a comment.
Okay, then I will close the item for public comment, and seeing that there are no questions, I will ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans?
You're muted.
Yes.
Commissioner Freeland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley? And Mayor Weissman?
Yes,
The motion passes.
thank you. And thank you, Ellen.
Thank you all very much, and I hope you all have a very pleasant evening.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the city attorney to read the resolution for the B item.
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting conditional use approval to permit the sale and service of alcoholic beverages at Pollos y Jarros Restaurant in tenant space 956 of the Aventura Mall expansion located at 19565 Biscayne Boulevard, City of Aventura, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Okay, can I have a motion for approval of this resolution made by Commissioner Landman, seconded by Commissioner Narodsky? I'm going to request Community Development Director Joanne Carr present the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. I've been sworn in. I would like to enter the staff report into the record. The applicant, Giant Investments LLC, doing business as Pollos y Jarros, is requesting conditional use approval to sell and serve alcoholic beverages at two cocktail bar lounge areas within its restaurant in the Aventura Mall, notwithstanding the distance and spacing requirements of Chapter 4 of the City Code. And I will share my screen for a location plan for you. Okay, so this is in the new expansion area of the mall. This is the entrance door here, and highlighted is the area of the new restaurant. It was formerly Harry's Pizza, now occupied by Pollos y Jarros. This is how they've renovated the interior of the restaurant. It's really something to go take a look at. The restaurant is located in space 956 of the Aventura Mall expansion at 19565 Biscayne Boulevard. There's approximately 3,060 square feet of floor area, 80 seats at tables indoors, 48 seats tables outdoors, 14 seats at one bar area, and 7 seats at another bar area. The applicant wishes to serve wine, beer, and liquor to customers seated at tables and at the bar areas. Chapter 4 of the City Code requires that it be located again at 1,500 feet from another establishment with a liquor license and at least 2,500 feet from a school or religious facility, unless it's approved as a conditional use, or unless it's one of our exemptions in the code. The dining room of the restaurant is one of the exemptions. However, the two bar areas do not meet the minimum number of seats for an exemption, and therefore conditional use approval is required. The applicant has submitted a liquor survey that shows 7 establishments with an alcoholic beverage use that are not exempted from the city code, 2 religious facilities, and 2 schools within the 1,500 feet. Staff has analyzed the application using the criteria for approval of conditional uses in section 3173 of the city code and finds that the application does meet those criteria. Public notice of this hearing has been published in accordance with section 3171 of the city code, and to date no public comments have been received. Staff is recommending approval of the conditional use application with the conditions listed in the staff report. And those are our standard conditions for approval of conditional uses for Chapter 4 approvals. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, let me ask the applicant if the applicant has any comments at this time.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the commission. This is Mickey Marrero from Burkhardt, Riddell, Fernandez, Larkin, and Tappanis on behalf of the applicant. And I think this is the third time in the last year, maybe even in the last 6 months, that I see you all regarding one of these uses in the Aventura Mall. This one is particularly exciting for me. This is my favorite lunch spot downtown. I was actually at the mall last week on Wednesday and was happy to see the place is open. My family had lunch there on an afternoon that we took partial day off. It was really fantastic, and thrilled to have it open in the mall. It's really a fantastic restaurant. If you haven't been, some of the best Peruvian food you can get. And they also, these same operators own Ceviche 105, which is a little bit more established, it's been around a little bit longer. This is like the spin-off restaurant for Ceviche 105. It's in an area of the mall, as you all know, that has lots of these wonderful restaurants that do serve beer, wine, and some cocktails. So I think it goes right perfectly where it's located. Happy to answer any questions you may have. And other than that, I would invite you to go to Pollos y Jarras if you haven't been there already, because it really is great.
Do any members of the commission have questions either for Joanne Carr or for Mickey Marrero? Commissioner Landman.
I just had a comment. I was there a few weeks ago. It's delicious. The place is great. I tried to order a cocktail and they said they didn't have their approval from the city yet. So,
and you see they were following the rules. Look at that.
Hopefully tonight, I said, oh yeah, you'll probably be at the April commission. So, great place. Highly recommend it to everyone here.
Okay, seeing as there are no more comments from the commission, I'm going to open the item for public comment. Did the city clerk freeze?
Yes.
I've got it from here, Mayor.
Okay, are we doing the license, Mark?
Okay.
She's frozen.
Okay, I have no way of knowing if someone from the public wants to speak.
There's no raised hands.
Okay. Then, and I certainly, if there is someone that wanted to speak, I'll certainly go back later with the attorney's permission and allow them to speak. But if you're not seeing any raised hands, then I'll close it for public comment. And if we can get our clerk's back.
And I'm back.
Okay, we're ready for a roll call vote.
Okay.
Unless, was there any hand that you saw from the public?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Landman?
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley?
Yes.
And Mayor Weissman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now I'm going to request that this, and congratulations, Mickey.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to request the city attorney to read the ordinance for item D.
Mayor?
Yes.
But before David reads that item, could I just mention that the applicant for item C wanted to pull this item and just have it moved to another, to
We
May?
already pulled it, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
Mayor, item D, item D, an ordinance of the city of Aventura, Florida, amending the official zoning map of the city of Aventura by amending the zoning designation for a 1.55 acre parcel of land located on the east side of Biscayne Boulevard, located at 20955 Biscayne Boulevard, as legally described in Exhibit A to this ordinance, from OP Office Park District to B2 Community Business District, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, thank you. And we addressed this in part in our local planning agency, correct?
That's
sir?
correct. That's correct, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask for a motion for approval of this ordinance?
Motion.
Made by Vice Mayor Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Narotsky. I'm going to request that the Community Development Director, Joanne Carr, present the staff report.
For item D,
Yes. Yes.
if I may, I'm happy to present it again. The city attorney had previously said that all testimony from the LPA would be incorporated into this, but I can certainly do that if it's your pleasure.
Let me ask, does any member of the commission want it presented again? It was just presented to us in the local planning agency. No, I'm getting all no's. Okay. I think I still have to get this on for the record. Does the applicant have any additional comments? City clerk, I'm not seeing any.
No.
The commission, any comments, questions? Okay, open for public comment. Anyone from the public? All right, then I'm going to, if all is right, Mr. Attorney, I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're muted, I think.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky,
Yep, yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yep.
The motion passes.
Okay, that brings us to ordinances on first reading in the public hearing. I'm going to request the city attorney to read the ordinance. A.
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending the City of Aventura Comprehensive Plan by amending Objective 2, Policy 2.1 of the Land Use Goal in the future land use element to add to the business and office land use category residential uses in the MO Medical Office District zoning category and contiguous business and office designated lands, and permit an increased floor area ratio for developments that dedicate certain lands to the city for public road purposes and construct the road at the owner's or developer's expense, both subject to conditional use approval, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the comprehensive plan, authorizing transmittal, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I ask for a motion for approval of this ordinance? Made by Commissioner Dr. Linda Marks, seconded by Commissioner Evans. I'm going to request Community Development Director Joanne Carr to present the staff report.
Again, Mayor, I'm happy to, at your pleasure, of course.
So what is anyone from the commission want to hear it again?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, and I'm going to assume the applicant has no further comments for us.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Adler?
Thank you, Mayor. No further comments.
Great. And anyone from the public wishing to address this commission?
I'm not seeing any hands raised at this
Okay.
time.
Then I'm going to close it for public comment, and I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you.
Okay, Mayor?
Yes.
I just I needed to recite into the record that the item 6C that was tabled will reappear at the May 4th, 2021 City Commission meeting. That's just for the record. Thank you. You, Mayor.
Okay. I'm on ordinances, second reading. I'll ask, am I?
I think we're on B. I believe we're on
B.
Right, B. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, let me ask the attorney to read B.
Thank you, Mayor.
Under ordinances.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 31 Land Development Regulations of the City Code of Ordinances by amending Section 31-144 Business Zoning District, subsection A, purpose and section 31-144 subsection F medical office MO district to allow multifamily residential uses with a maximum of 57 dwelling units per acre and a maximum of 2.49 floor area ratio for developments that dedicate land to the city for public road purposes and construct the road at the owner or developer's expense, subject to conditional use approval, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Can I have a motion for approval of the ordinance? Made by Commissioner Evans, seconded by Commissioner Friedland. Okay, we had this report given to us also earlier.
Correct.
So let me ask, is there anyone that would like to hear Ms. Carr's report? Nope. All right. The applicant has no further comments, correct?
Correct, Mayor. Thank you.
Does anyone in the public wish to address the commission?
I am not seeing anybody at this time, Mayor.
And I'll close it for public comment, and I'll ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you all for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, next item on our agenda is ordinances, second reading and public hearings. I'm going to request the city attorney to read the ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2020-10, which ordinance adopted a budget for the 2020-2021 fiscal year by revising the 2020-2021 fiscal year operating and capital budget as outlined in Exhibit A attached here too, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
Can I have a motion for the approval of this ordinance? Made by Vice Mayor Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Landman. I'm going to request the city manager to review this budget item.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, Commission. This is our mid-year budget amendment. It's where we realign and adjust our revenues and expenses. Sometimes we look at, a lot of times it affects projects that start in one fiscal year and carry forward into a new year. Sometimes it's projects that were unexpected or will put off for a reason that we saw into the future. Some of those would be like in Peace Park, we're getting ready to put in a bathroom. Last year, we were supposed to upgrade security cameras. We put that off so we could incorporate that into the new construction of the bathroom, so we wouldn't have to redo it. We also had to account for additional monies that we spent on the seawall repair on Yacht Club Drive. It was for additional engineering to make sure the wall could be completed the best way possible, and things like that.
Okay, let me ask if there's any member of the commission that has any questions for the city manager. Okay, I'm going to open the item for public comment and request the city clerk review the procedures if anyone comments.
If there are any members of the public that would like to comment, please use your raise hand icon at this time. I'm not seeing any speakers at the time, Mayor.
Okay, then I'll close the item for public comment and I'll ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland, Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Shelley,
Yes.
Mayor Weissman.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. We have no item 9 tonight, no resolutions for public hearings. It brings us to item number 10. Are there any reports that any members of the commission would like to address or speak to? I see Commissioner Dr. Linda Marks.
So just very quickly, two things. First of all, Mayor Weissman, as you so very eloquently spoke about the Student Advisory Board, I had the privilege of attending their meeting the other day, and I just want to tell you, these are phenomenal kids who are doing a phenomenal job, and I just wanted to publicly say that. I encourage anybody to come and just see a meeting because they certainly raised the bar for what, you know, work looks like. So they did a wonderful job. And then the other thing I want to mention is I believe it is next Thursday evening at City Hall. There's an actual live meeting in our City Hall in the chambers for the Aventura Police Foundation Board, and they're going to be presenting a very interesting program on a lot of different topics. So I think you have to RSVP, but I'm sure that, is it on our website, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would encourage people to attend and come in person to City Hall.
Anybody else? Okay. Then we're open for public comment, and I will request the attorney to review with the commissioners the purpose of this item. However, if the city clerk tells me that there is no one in the public that wishes to address us,
If there are any members of the public that would like to provide public comments, please use your raise hand icon at this time. I'm not seeing any speakers, Mayor.
okay, then is there any other business to be brought tonight to this meeting? And I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Narodsky, seconded by Commissioner Evans. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Good night,
you
everybody.
all.
Thank you all. Stay well.
Stay
Stay
well.
safe. Bye.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Bye.